today I'm a Foodwise coach. I want to tell you a little bit about Foodwise. Foodwise is a charity based in Guildford. The sole purpose of Foodwise is to relieve food poverty in our community through education, provision of food and teaching skills of how to cook a healthy meal on a restricted budget. There is an over-reliance on processed food and ready-made meals, which are often not good for our health and well-being. So at Foodwise, we want to teach people how to cook healthy meals on a budget and show them how you can save money as well as eat healthily. The idea is that if you're cooking from home, you are eating healthier, you're eating nutritious meals, you're eating a much more tasty and a flavourful food. On our free cooking skills training course, you will develop a lot of confidence and be confident in the kitchen, and there's a lot of self-esteem and pride in what you've created, as well as saved a little bit of money. So if you've enjoyed this video, remember that Foodwise is a charity and a small donation would be helpful. So today I'm going to show you how to make Scotch eggs from scratch. Scotch eggs, you can buy them from the shops, but you never know what's inside them, how it's been cooked, how it's been prepared and how tasty they are. But by making them from scratch at home, you know exactly what you've put in there and it's far more tastier. So I will be using these ingredients. I have half a dozen eggs here. One of the eggs I will be using to mix and to coat my breadcrumbs with. So here I have breadcrumbs. I've put 3 slices of bread here, and what I did is I put it in a food processor to create these breadcrumbs. But please do not buy commercially bought breadcrumbs. The easiest way to do breadcrumbs is to actually put them in a toaster and on a very light toaster, crumble them, put them inside a plastic bag and bash them with a rolling pin, and there you will have some breadcrumbs. There's no need to buy commercially produced breadcrumbs. And otherwise, if you have a food processor, by all means pop them into a food processor and you will have these lovely fine breadcrumbs. In terms of meat around your Scotch eggs, I have here 250 grams of pork, lean pork mince. But if you don't have pork mince, the easiest way to do it, it's not the healthiest option, but the easiest way to do is use some ready-made pork sausages, slit the skin out and decant them from the skin. That is a way of doing it, but I wouldn't choose to do it, but this would be a better way of using it. Or another way could be that you could actually buy sausage meat already prepared by your butcher, or I have seen them in supermarkets, so you should be able to buy sausage meat there. Also, what I will be using, I've got to flavour my meat. I've got some sage here, and I also have some Paxo mince. This is my little secret ingredients which I tend to put into, because it will have some herbs and it will have some breadcrumbs and it will soak up some of the juices from the meat to make it a bit more firmer. And then I will season it with salt and pepper. And normally Scotch eggs are fried, deep fried, and to keep it as a healthy option, I tend to just brush them up with if you have a spray oil, which is much better, but just brush some olive oil or some cooking oil over your eggs and then pop them in the oven instead of deep frying, because it's a much healthier option. So I have a pan of boiling water, and to that I'm gently going to lower 4 eggs, and I'll boil these for 7 minutes. While the eggs are boiling, I'm going to show you how I prepare my pork mince. If you're using sausage meat, that might be slightly different, but certainly do it differently, but where you don't add in the herbs. I will be adding the herbs So with this, each time I handle meat, always make sure you wash your hands after, and the meat doesn't contaminate your other products, or it doesn't touch anything else. Always wash your hands straight away after touching meat. So to my pork mince, I have added a teaspoon of sage, cracked some black pepper to it, a little bit of salt, just not too much salt, because I know that commercially produced salt, commercially produced Scotch eggs are very salty, and this is also quite salty as well. Just a little bit, enough to bring the flavour up of all the herbs that you've got in there. I have also added to this some Paxo stuffing mix, which just has the breadcrumbs, and it also has the herbs in it, which again enhances the flavour, but also soaks up any moisture that's in your meat. Just massage it all into it. As soon as you start handling your meat with your hands, cross-contamination can occur, so always remember to go and wash your hands. So my 6 minutes are up. I'm going to strain the water out, and then I'll put the eggs in cold running water, or in ice water, or in a big bowl of cold water. This stops them cooking any further, and also it's the skin's easier to peel off. In a commercial kitchen we use a red chopping board, but at home you may not have a red chopping board, you might just have one. But be mindful about cross-contaminating your meat with your vegetable chopping board. So here I have my minced meat there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it up with the plastic wrap, and I'm going to bash it, or just gently roll it like this. Then I'll wrap this around my egg. So I'll peel that back. Then I will get my egg and wrap it around like this, and just bring it in gently. It may start separating like that, but just bring it back in again and cover your egg, stretching your meat over to cover your egg thoroughly, like this. And then I'll put this aside, and I'll do 4 of these, then I'll show you how I coat these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these and leave them in the fridge for about 15 minutes, and what happens is the fat remains brings the meat closer, and it firms up the meat around your eggs. So my eggs are done now, 15 minutes, and now I'm going to show you how to coat them with breadcrumbs. So what I have here is some flour, plain flour, a beaten egg, and some breadcrumbs. To the breadcrumbs you can add some flavouring by adding some more sage to it, or perhaps some black pepper and salt. Half a teaspoon, not too much, just enough to give it a bit of a flavouring to your, or better still, you can put it into your eggs as well. So I'm going to wrap my Scotch egg in the flour first. Dip a little bit of egg in it, just a little bit, and then straight into your breadcrumbs, over like that. Another easy way of doing your breadcrumbs is to use a plastic bag. So get yourself a plastic bag such as this, and you can pop your breadcrumbs in a plastic bag like that, and then just pop your egg in. It's just so much easier, because what happens when you don't use a plastic bag, it sticks to your fingers. And then just pop that in there. do the same with the rest of your eggs. So my oven's on 190 degrees Celsius. I'm going to pop this in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. So the Scotch eggs are lovely and ready for my lunch, but they're an excellent source of protein, and they are great for taking away for a picnic. Your whole week, if you're cooking on a Sunday, the whole week on a Sunday, you've got your batch cooking done, and you know at lunchtime that you're not going to want to snack on some unhealthy things when you've got something like this sitting in your fridge. They could stay in your fridge for about 3 days, 4 days. Make sure always to make sure that your sausage meat inside is cooked properly. You can take a little bit off and check it, but mine's been there for over 20 minutes now, so I know it's definitely cooked. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you next time. We are excited to be running a competition to be in with the chance to win 2 Deliveroo £10 vouchers. Post a photograph of your creation to Instagram, then tag and like @Surrey and Foodwise TLC. If you want to enter this competition, entries need to be in by this Friday.